Hi there. So my name is Juliet Marlowe. I'm the head of faculty for lifestyle studies, but I also head up the active studies area. So I'm going to talk to you a bit today about the different courses that we run under our head of active studies. And there'll be courses in sport, health and fitness, public services and outdoor adventure. So first of all, we often get asked, what active studies course could I study at all? And, you're not quite sure. It's a big, wide area. You might be active, you might be interested in something active, but you're not quite sure what we could do if you came up to Petroc. So there's two main ways of continuing to study something active at Petroc. One of them is to do an A-level equivalent BTEC, which goes alongside two other A-levels. And the other option is to choose one of our full-time programs in sport, fitness, outdoor adventure or public services. So these are full qualifications in one subject area. The first thing I'd like to just go over is the A-level equivalent BTEC extended certificate in sport. So that's the course that you would do alongside two other A-levels, and it's exactly the same qualification value as a full A-level. It can be studied alongside your other choices, and then your three A-level choices will make your full study program. It's a level 3 program, so that's if for you if you got grades 4s or 5s and above in your GCSEs. So if you took this course, you'd get UCAS points for it, and those UCAS points would be added to those that you'd get from other A-levels, and usually our students would then decide to progress on to university. If you chose that route, learners sometimes will carry on and study into sport, but it gives you some more flexibility, and it means that you'll gain some UCAS points by gaining a strong qualification in an area that you enjoy, and these UCAS points can be added to your other points from your other A-levels, and you could go on to any areas that are not specific to a general qualification. So some of our learners have gone on to physiotherapy, horticulture, PE teaching, things like mechanical engineering and business management. Even though they're not sport related, the learners use the sport BTEC to gain their full set of qualifications at this level. And then there's some more specific ones like sports psychology, sports science and coaching, and sports rehab. I've got another presentation on our A-level equivalent BTEC on our A-level pages, and that's got a lot more detail and some frequently asked questions about our BTEC certificate, which is the equivalent to the A-level. The majority of programs that we run in active studies are full-time active study programs. So they're programs that you would study during your whole time at college. We have these at different levels. So we call them active studies programs because in some ways they are active, and they do involve taking part in practical and training and work experience. So we've put them together under the head of active studies, but some of them really are quite different to each other. So at level 1, we've got one BTEC level 1, and it does cover all three of the areas that we tend to offer in active. So you will do some sport, you'd look at some public services, and you'd look at some fitness. It is actually a sport qualification because we feel learners enjoy the practical sport involved in a sport qualification. So that's our base level 1 program if you're coming in at level 1. We then offer 3 different qualifications in active studies at level 2. We've got a YMCA level 2 diploma in exercise and fitness instructing. So you do that in your first year. Your opportunity then is to move on to a level 3 in personal training and a level 3 in massage in your second year. So that course is really vocational. It sets you up to work in a fitness centre, sets you up to go into personal training and massage. The second offer that we have in active studies is a purely sport-based offer, and that's a BTEC level 2 first certificate in sport. And the third option that we have in active studies is our level 2 in public services, which is a qualification, and both of those qualifications are qualifications that people sometimes choose if they'd like to progress on to our level 3 programs later on. And they are a mix of practical and coursework and exams, And ultimately, they are a stepping stone up to the next level of sport public service courses at Petroc. At level 3, these qualifications, again, 3 different ones. There is the full BTEC Level 3 National Foundation Diploma in Sport, which in the second year becomes an extended diploma. That is worth 3 A-levels. It gives you the same UCAS points as A-levels. So if you were to get distinctions in this course, it would be the same as getting A grades and distinction stars as an A star. D distinction is an A. Merit is a C grade. So these BTECs are all the equivalent to A-levels, but they are worth 3 A-levels. So the first one that we offer is the sport one. The second one that we offer is in uniformed protective services. Sometimes we call this public services. It has changed this year in the title name, and we'll be running from that for the future. Both of those are full BTECs worth 3 A-levels, and you will study a large number of units on each of those. It's normally 9 units in the first year and 9 units in the second year. They're a mixture of exam-based and coursework-based. The third qualification is a slightly smaller qualification. It is only worth the equivalent of 2 A-levels. We give a high emphasis on this qualification on the vocational aspects. That's because the BTEC is in outdoor adventure, and we find that learners who want to study outdoor adventure do need to learn a lot of the aspects of outdoor adventure by going off-site and going out on trips and visits to learn about things like kayaking, canoeing, climbing, abseiling, coasteering. So it's worth 2 A-levels, and it will give you the same UCAS points as 2 A-levels would. This does mean that learners won't get the equivalent of 3 A-levels. However, we have found that learners can still progress on to relevant outdoor adventure courses at university, or even courses in other area if they were to gain merits and distinctions in this qualification. But also alongside, you would get some real vocational qualifications where learners can go out and work in the industry. And we find that's probably the most popular route from the outdoor adventure, level 3. In summary, on these slides, I've just looked at the course codes. So if you decided you wanted to apply for any of these courses, it tells you what grades you would need to get. And it tells you the application code that we find in our prospectus if you wanted to do those qualifications. So I'll just pause for a minute in case anyone wants to write anything down. You'll see that for our level 1, you need 4 grade 2s. And for our level 2s, you generally will need 4 grade 3s. And these will need to include maths and English at those levels. All of these courses are 1-year courses. And the idea is you'll come here and study one of those courses with the idea of potentially progressing up onto another course the following year. So, short summary of the level 3 courses. The entry requirements obviously are higher than those at level 2. We do expect 5 grade 4s or above for those, and that includes maths and English. Because a diploma in outdoor adventure is a slightly smaller qualification, there is some flexibility in the 5 grade 4s. For example, you may be able to retake one of your maths or English alongside that qualification. However, the other 2 qualifications, because they are full equivalent of A-levels and they are quite highly academic, we do require learners to get 5 grade 4s, including maths and English. This will then mean that they should cope more easily with the requirements of the program. All of our level 3 programs do cross over a 2-year time period. We expect you to sign up for a commitment to this for 2 years. Again, there's application codes on there that will appear in the prospectus for 2021. Okay, on an active studies program, I'm not going to go through much detail because you can find a lot more of the detail under public services, outdoor adventure and sport and health fitness on some slideshows on the virtual open event site. But generally, we like to use the acronym ACTIVE, because these courses do have academic study with coursework, and that is probably our primary aim when you come to Petragon, an active studies program. We really want you to progress and reach your aspirations academically. There will be digital learning involved, and that's core to every program now in active studies. You are being expected to train and take part in practical experience, and the reason we call it training and not just practical experience is it sometimes is more training based than just playing the sports and getting involved that way. You will be taking part in a fitness room, you would be taking part in sports hall activities, but sometimes it might be coaching, leading and working with others rather than just playing the sport of your choice. All of our courses are active, and as such, we try and get you as much industry trips and visits as possible, and it will be our aim to do that again in years to come. We also expect you to gain work experience not only on your own, but we would also take you out to a variety of work experience that is related to the course. Perhaps we'd go out and work with the police if it's public services, and you'd work as members of the public in some of their training exercises. You might go out to schools to get work experience working with children if you're on a sport course. And then now that we have moved into the government's new qualifications, nearly all of the qualifications that we study in active studies do now have exams involved in them. Alongside all of that, if you haven't got your maths or English at a grade 4, then there's the opportunity to do that alongside the study programs, especially at level 1 and level 2. Oh, I just popped back on that one, sorry. So what next? I'm going to take some questions and give some answers over the next 15 minutes or so. But what you're welcome to go and do is go and have a look in more detail at the courses and the types of things you'd be doing on each of the courses. We've got 3 different pages for the courses in active studies. We've got the public services page, the sport, health and fitness page, and the outdoor adventure page. If you want more information on the A-level equivalent, the one that you take alongside 2 other A-levels, then we do have another slideshow presentation over there with a lot more detail on that course. Okay, so hopefully if you've got any questions, feel free to ask them now, and I will see if I can answer them. So you're asking about if you have to be good at sport to do a sport course. No, you don't have to perform at a high level in sport. The qualifications expect you to participate, but they don't necessarily take into account how well you perform. It's more about taking part and being committed and analysing your performance, pointing out what you are good at and pointing out what you're not so good at. And there's grades awarded for that. We do expect people to participate, be committed and keen. However, your grade isn't going to be affected if you're not a high performance player in sport. And we get a wide range of learners on the course who maybe enjoy lots of different sports rather than are particularly high achievers at any one sport. And we find it suits those learners. But no, your performance, it doesn't matter how good you are. It's more about your enthusiasm, your keenness, and your interest in learning about sport. So hopefully I've answered that one. Okay. So the courses do differ. So we do have an outdoor adventure course, and for that one there's a lot of specialist kit, which you'll be pleased to know you don't need to buy. College will provide the kit. For public services and sport and fitness, we generally have kit available for you to use as well. You don't need much for that. We do in many cases ask you to buy 1 or 2 items of clothing, perhaps. This year we've asked learners to buy a whistle, a bib and a polo shirt. This is so we can go out in a professional uniform if we go out and coach others. Obviously, also for health and safety, owning your own bib and using your own whistle are things we like to try and encourage. So in most cases, we will provide everything that you need, and in some cases there will be a chance to buy a polo shirt, and you could have in fact buy more kit if you'd like to, but you don't have to. So we do run sports academies, and we run them alongside the main programs. For the time being, with COVID influence, we've been running these digitally, which sounds interesting, I know, because we've not wanted to mix learners from different courses. So our sports academies give all learners across the whole of the college to come together and have practical performance delivery in a sport for one of the academies. So it might be A-level learners, might be carpentry learners, it might be active studies learners. You'd all access sports academies. At the moment, we do this on a Monday afternoon and a Wednesday. On a Wednesday, we are part of an active fixtures schedule where we play across the Southwest. As I say, COVID pending, but we are intending to do that again next year. We run sports academies in volleyball, netball, football for men and for women, basketball and tennis in conjunction with the Atlantic Racket Centre. Did I miss any? I think I did, but I can't think which one I missed. We have a climbing academy as well. So this is an excellent opportunity if you are more specifically a high performance player in one of those sports and you'd like to represent college at sport. We, as I say, we have training generally on a Monday and a Wednesday and fixtures on a Wednesday. We've been national champions at volleyball in men's volleyball for 2 years, in women's volleyball. Over the last 3 years, I think we've been national champions once, but we've always made the finals up in, it was Loughborough last year and Newcastle the year before. So we do run sports academies. These are actively run for all learners across college, and you would fit that in alongside your other choices of programs. On that note, actually, if you are interested in sports academies, I might sound a little bit vague. That's because we do have a specialist sports academies lead, Jason Fern, who knows a lot more detail. And we do have sports academies video and sports academies show on our sport and our A-level live virtual event site. So do go there for more details and contact Jason Fern for more details. We generally get learners to show their interest at the application stage, and then we'll follow up in August and September to invite learners in to have some practice, have like a get-together day before the start of term, and then we'll start running the academies in September. So do get in touch if that's something that you're interested in. So if you chose one of the public services courses, it is a good question. Some people think you then have to go on and join one of the public services. And generally people think, oh, fire, police, ambulance or army. And generally that is a generalization. To be honest, no, learners often will choose a different route after their public services. Many come because they do want to go into the police, or they would like to go into one of the military options, and therefore it's an excellent route. We have other learners who will go into the public services that are more non-uniform, such as law and criminology. But you don't actually have to go onto anything specific. You might use the level 2 program. Our level 2 public services is our most general program that learners tend to enjoy and use as a stepping stone to the next level. And sometimes learners might do a level 2 in public services and then choose a completely different route afterwards because they've used the course to get their grades up to the level to enter a level 3 course, and also to get study their maths and English alongside something that they really enjoy. But no, you don't have to join the public services after the courses. There are lots of different options. Oh, the question also did ask about options. Other options do include, we do find public service learners do enjoy the fitness side of things and then may diversify towards fitness. We've just had someone's applied and been accepted on PE teaching qualification at university for next year. So that's just an example of one of the ways you could go. So for most of our qualifications are BTECs. For a BTEC assignment, they're generally set for you over a 2 or 3 week time period, perhaps even longer. And they're like mini projects, a bit like project elements that you might have done at school if you've done coursework for GCSEs. So there's a high level of coursework involved at level 2 and at level 3. At level 1, we do support the coursework with sessions with you, and we help you to build your portfolios, because that's a good platform to help you onto a higher level course the following year. At level 2 and 3, you are expected to carry on with the coursework independently as homework, and you will be working towards assignments, which are mini projects that you'd hand in for a specific deadline after a period of time working on them. The lecturers will teach towards those assignments in the lessons, and then you'd be expected to do your work electronically on a computer, and then submit online the work that you've done, which your staff will then mark, and we need to keep that work for the governing bodies. For the fitness and personal training and massage courses, some of your assessment, the assignments you do are more workbook based, and you'll fill in workbooks or worksheets and handouts to build up a portfolio of evidence. They're shorter pieces of work. So the fitness and personal training and massage don't have such long coursework assignments with a long hand-in date. They're shorter pieces of work. They also have more exams in that type of in the fitness side of the courses than the BTECs do. In terms of the BTEC exams, that does vary depending on what level you're on. So on level 2, some of the questions are multiple choice. Level 3, some of the questions are seen, so you know what the question is going to be, and you go into a timed essay and do it in an exam condition. And then there are also some general regular type of exams where you would just have answers to questions, like a regular GCSE exam might be. So again, depending on the course that you choose, it will vary. At the lower levels, you tend to have an opportunity to take part in practical sport a little bit more, whilst we use the skills of sport to develop your other study skills and your general interaction with others and teamwork. If you were on a level 3 course, then we generally teach the course over 12 hours a week, and out of those 12 hours, I would estimate that between 2 and 3 hours would be practical. So it's quite a small element. Our A-level qualification, equivalent to the A-level, we have 5 lessons a week. 1 out of the 5 is a practical session. The question does ask about how much practical sport you take part in. It's not always taking part for the sake of taking part. So when I talk about maybe 3 sessions a week, one of those sessions might be you leading the rest of your group in a practical activity. It might be that you're in the fitness room training rather than playing the sport itself. On the outdoor adventure level 3, because it's a smaller academic qualification, it does have at least 1 day a week of practical. You'll be going off site for a day, most weeks, once a week, and we'll be using our external environment natural to us. So we'll go as far as maybe Tiverton to go on the canals down there. We'll go to Baggy Point coast steering and climbing, and you might take the canoes and kayaks on the main river in Barnstable. But for that course, there is a higher element of practical, and you would be expected to attend a full day of practical off-site each week. Hopefully that's answered that. It all is very varied. There are some frequent asked questions like this on the different slideshows for the different areas, because it will vary depending on level and the type of course and the title of the course. For example, in the fitness courses, you will be in the gym probably for more than 3 lessons a week, potentially half the lessons of the week. Teaching spin cycling, running circuits, instructing people on the gym machines. Hopefully that's clear enough answer, or you can back it up by going and have a look at some of our other slideshows. Do we go on any trips? Well, this year we haven't had a huge amount, but we, in the past and for the future, we have quite a few. We have a busy schedule of trips. We are part of an Erasmus program, which takes most of our courses away to Europe once a year. So the fitness course has got a trip to Holland lined up to work with a university and another college out there working on fitness personal training. The sport course, it has a trip planned to Romania, hopefully for this year, working with the Tag Rugby Trust, and going for 2 weeks to Romania and going around these schools to help the children learn tag rugby and to run festivals and events related to tag rugby in Romania. The outdoor adventure program goes to Avoriaz in France, and that trip's been running for over 6 years now, I think. And again, fingers crossed, we will be going this year. Later on in the year, we've moved it back. That is a work experience trip where you will go ice climbing, skiing, snowboarding, and the work experience part is you will have to take your part in running a chalet, setting up the chalet, cooking and cleaning for the day. Also, you'd do some work experience learning how to ice pick. So is that all the European trips? And the public services and outdoor adventure would have a chance to go on that trip. The other trips that we do are generally day visits, and we do try to fit in quite a lot. We understand that our learners, that if they're joining active studies, they like to be active, so we do keep you active. A lot of our trips and visits might be to go out and help someone. So I mentioned going to help the police in dummy events where we act as the civilians potentially. We go to the Gold Coast Ocean Fest and run the schools day at Croyd Beach. We have regularly run the Tag Rugby Festival for North Devon schools and for Devon's Torridge schools. The Holland learners who go, the fitness learners who go to Holland will also go out into different sports and fitness centres in this country to see how the experience of sport and fitness differs in Holland than it does to back here in England and in Devon. So we do have lots of day trips and visits, and we do have some European trips and visits. So yes, certainly we do go on lots of trips. So after completing an active studies course, I mean, there are lots of different courses, so we've got lots of different things that students would go and do. If they'd gone through some of our courses and are leaving at level 3, we tend to have about 50% of the sport learners and the public services learners, 50% or higher, will go on to university, and the sport learners will go on to courses such as sports rehabilitation and sports massage, sports coaching. We've got people applied for PE teaching this year, 3 people applying for PE teaching. We have got 2 that are going on to sports science, and they've been offered places in sports science. So a few do go to university. Public services, we have learners go to criminology courses, law courses, or policing courses now, or the policing apprenticeships. If learners choose a more specific route of fitness and health, then it's generally we do have learners that end up working part-time in the fitness industry, and then when they leave college, they will then carry on with their vocation by being personal trainers and working in the local industry. They might then back that up with their sports massage therapy. Generally, other students do look for work in the sports area locally. Some will go and work in schools as teaching assistants and look at further in their experience with children and young people in sport that way. So again, there's more detail on some of these things. on the different more specific websites. Obviously, I didn't really cover where outdoor adventure learners will go. They generally will join a local outdoor adventure or a national outdoor adventure centre. Some will go abroad. So do tune in specifically to, well, not tune in, but go and log and have a look at the different slideshows. You will meet some more of the staff, some of the people that teach on the different courses. So not just me. So thank you ever so much for joining us today. It's really good to be able to share what we've got to offer. For more information, don't forget we've got a advice and guidance team that are around today or any other time in the week, and have a look online and have a look at our prospectuses. Thank you.